Hello everybody, today is the first day of the rest of my life. Today I would like to indulge you with a traditional Romanian soup, more specifically from Transylvania. It's potatoes with tarragon, which is a peasant soup, but doesn't make it least delicious. So let's start with the ingredients. Of course, being a potato soup, we start with the potatoes. Then we need a big onion or two smaller ones. We do have some carrots, we do have some parsnip, celery, and we also have a pepper, which you can replace it either with green pepper, bell pepper, as long as it's not spicy. So let's get to work. Now today's version is vegetarian, but it can be done with meat as well, especially smoked pork shanks. The secret on slicing and dicing the vegetables here is to have a very sharp knife, and you can do that with a knife sharpener. Now we'll be starting with the onion. So I'm no chef, and the idea is not to make it as for a restaurant. Cut it on bigger chunks, no problem at all, and then like this. There we go. I'll continue with the peppers. Start from the inside. And then dice it. Some might say that I'm committing a sacrilege by putting red peppers in this type of soup. Parsnip would be the next one. Now this one is typically hard, so you slice big slice like this. There we go. Alright. And then start with other slices along its axle. There we go. And start dicing. Parsnip solved. Carrots. Celery root is very flavored. So if you don't particularly like this flavor, you can replace it with more parsnip. So at the moment we have quite a lot here. I won't be using these anymore. We'll put them away for another dish. So back in the fridge. I'll put the potatoes next. The reason is that we'll be putting this into a boil at first to blend in the flavors and everything, and then after dicing the potatoes as well, we'll be putting the potatoes in. For potatoes, it's the easiest. They also boil the fastest. Other ingredients that we need is also sour cream, herbs, tarragon, 2 bay leaves, salt, and since we don't have the smoked pork shanks, I'll be placing some smoked paprika, which is also very typical in Transylvania. So we'll put everything into a boil. Let's start. Gas stoves are the typical method of cooking in Romania, and that's because gas is more affordable than electricity for slow cooking. We'll be placing all the vegetables inside together, add a pinch of salt, a little bit more maybe, and just a dash of cooking oil. There we go. We'll be stirring these together in order for the dices to break up, also to suck on that salt, and also to leave some of their juices. And next we'll be adding some water. We'll be leaving that for a serious boil until the time is due and the vegetables are starting boiling, of course. It is now time to add up potatoes, more water. We'll add up 2 bay leaves, the tarragon, because it is within the name, so I'll be soaking up. And since I mentioned that this one will be vegetarian, no meat, but in the meat version, smoked pork shanks are used. I will be using paprika, smoked, for our soup, just to give it a nice smoky taste. We'll leave it on boiling, and when time is due, we'll be removing the bay leaf and add the sour cream. Now I have to find and remove the bay leaves because they are giving quite a strong flavor to the soup. This is one. And there's another one somewhere here. There it is. There's the second one. Romanian soups are typically sour. We use an ingredient for that, it's called borscht, which is a fermented product. You can definitely find it in the Russian cuisine as well, Ukrainian as well, but I reckon that in other countries borscht is not available to everybody, so you can use other things to sour the soup. In some cases you can simply use vinegar. In this case I just got the juice for 1.5 lemons, small ones, and we'll be pouring it in, and then we'll be waiting for about 25 minutes to give it a proper boil. Now if it's getting too sour, like in this case, you can always add up some more water. I had to add plenty of water because it proved to be too sour, and now we're adding the last ingredient, which is cream or sour cream. Now the rule is to gently add it on top of the cream, a little bit at a time, so it doesn't scum. The idea is to gradually equalize the temperatures so it doesn't spoil the cream. Once I can feel this being warm, we can pour it back from the transfer vessel into the main pot. I somehow made it completely full to the brim, but that's not a bad thing. This is actually for the entire family for a couple of days. You can put it in the fridge after cooling down and serve it to everybody. I might be actually preparing a jar for George as well, as he's about to come to help him out for a bit. And this one is the traditional Transylvanian soup with tarragon and potatoes. Again, if you're a soup fanatic or you know the recipe, you might be criticizing me for not adding the proper things. Typically, you add egg yolk into the cream. I didn't want to do so because I'm suspicious to raw eggs. And of course, smoked pork chops or pork shanks. This one can be served with green onions, bread. You can replace the onion with hot peppers. Let's see how it tastes like. A bite of bread, a sip of soup, a bite of onion. Perfect.